We're diving into the mysterious case of the 1995 D. George Washington silver quarter dollar, how a humble coin meant for vending machines and soda fountains is now changing lives, and trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end, because I'm going to reveal the single detail that separates the $1 million coin from the pocket change. Let's rewind to 1995. The year eBay launched. DVDs were invented, and Windows 95 was king, while America was moving into the digital age. The Denver Mint quietly struck millions of quarters with the face of George Washington. Most were standard, but a few, a very rare few, were struck on silver planchets by mistake. Planchets are the metal discs used to make coins, and these silver ones, they weren't even supposed to be in the building. Pattern interrupt. It's kind of like showing up to a barbecue in a tuxedo. Something's obviously off, but it sure gets attention. It turned an ordinary quarter into a six-figure investment. So, what makes this coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? It comes down to three things. Look for the tiny D under, "In God We Trust." That means Denver Mint, unlike the usual copper-nickel quarters, this one is struck on a 90% silver planchet. A normal 1995 quarter weighs 5.67 grams. This silver-era coin? Around 6.25 grams. Urgency alert, you might be literally giving away a small fortune in a vending machine or a tip jar. Collectors go wild for these because they're not supposed to exist. One recently fetched $685,000 at auction, and prices keep climbing. Meet James from Arizona. He found one in an old coffee can in his late uncle's garage. Fast forward a few months, and he sold it for over $500,000. Now he's retired early, traveling the country in an RV with his wife. Cliffhanger moment. But what if I told you there's an even rarer version of this coin? I'll explain in just a minute. Go grab your coin jar. Seriously. Look for the date, 1995, and the D mint mark. Weigh the coin on a jewelry scale. If it's closer to 6.25 grams, your heart should be racing. Look at the coin's edge. If it looks solid silver instead of showing copper stripes, jackpot. Coin dealers and grading companies like PCGS and NGC can verify authenticity and potentially skyrocket your coin's value. Here's the tragic part, most people never even check. They donate jars, tip in coins, or worse, use them in laundromats. That's the fear. Letting a $600,000 coin vanish because you didn't know what to look for, but now you do. Imagine what that kind of money could do for your life. Pay off debt. Send your kids to college. Start a business. Buy that lake house or beachfront condo you always dreamed of. This isn't just about coins, this is about recognizing hidden value in the things we overlook. Stay tuned, because this is just one of dozens of ultra-rare quarters out there. In upcoming videos, I'll show you more coins that could be worth thousands, even millions. So you never miss a valuable opportunity. Tell us if you have a 1995 D quarter. Someone in your family or friend circle might be sitting on a fortune. There's a 2004 quarter with a minting error so rare, it's sold for more than a Porsche 911. Don't miss it, your wealth might already be in your hands. All it takes is knowing where to look. We're diving into the mysterious case of the 1995 D. George Washington silver quarter dollar, how a humble coin meant for vending machines and soda fountains is now changing lives, and trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end, because I'm going to reveal the single detail that separates the $1 million coin from the pocket change. Let's rewind to 1995. The year eBay launched. DVDs were invented, and Windows 95 was king, while America was moving into the digital age. The Denver Mint quietly struck millions of quarters with the face of George Washington. Most were standard, but a few, a very rare few, were struck on silver planchets by mistake. Planchets are the metal discs used to make coins, and these silver ones, they weren't even supposed to be in the building. Pattern interrupt. It's kind of like showing up to a barbecue in a tuxedo. Something's obviously off, but it sure gets attention. It turned an ordinary quarter into a six-figure investment. So, what makes this coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Look for the tiny D under, "In God We Trust." That means Denver Mint, unlike the usual copper-nickel quarters, this one is struck on a 90% silver planchet. A normal 1995 quarter weighs 5.67 grams. This silver era coin? Around 6.25 grams. Urgency alert, you might be literally giving away a small fortune in a vending machine or a tip jar. Collectors go wild for these because they're not supposed to exist. One recently fetched $685,000 at auction, and prices keep climbing. Meet James from Arizona. He found one in an old coffee can in his late uncle's garage. Fast forward a few months, and he sold it for over $500,000. He's retired early, traveling the country in an RV with his wife. Cliffhanger moment. But what if I told you there's an even rarer version of this coin? I'll explain in just a minute. Go grab your coin jar. Seriously, look for the date, 1995, and the D mint mark. Weigh the coin on a jewelry scale. If it's closer to 6.25 grams, your heart should be racing. Look at the coin's edge. If it looks solid silver instead of showing copper stripes, jackpot. Coin dealers and grading companies like PCGS and NGC can verify authenticity and potentially skyrocket your coin's value. Here's the tragic part, most people never even check. They donate jars, tip in coins, or worse, use them in laundromats. Letting a $600,000 coin vanish because you didn't know what to look for. But now you do. Imagine what that kind of money could do for your life. Pay off debt. Send your kids to college. Start a business. Buy that lake house or beachfront condo you always dreamed of. This isn't just about coins, this is about recognizing hidden value in the things we overlook. Stay tuned. Because this is just one of dozens of ultra-rare quarters out there. In upcoming videos, I'll show you more coins that could be worth thousands, even millions. So you never miss a valuable opportunity. Someone in your family or friend circle might be sitting on a fortune. There's a 2004 quarter with a minting error so rare, it's sold for more than a Porsche 911. Don't miss it, your wealth might already be in your hands, all it takes is knowing where to look. A small silver coin sitting quietly in your kitchen drawer is worth more than your car. Or your house. Or even your retirement savings. Pause. Well, the 1997 George Washington quarter is doing just that. One recently sold for a jaw-dropping $685,000. And others are expected to break $1 million. Yes, $1 million, for 25 cents. Sound of coin drop echoes, you may have one right now and not even know it. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot this treasure, and possibly transform your junk drawer into a six-figure payday. In 1997, the Philadelphia Mint released millions of George Washington quarters. Most were ordinary. But a few, a very few, were extraordinary. They were struck on pure silver planchets, by mistake. A minting error so rare, it created what collectors now call the phantom silver quarter. Let me ask you something. When's the last time you actually looked at a quarter? No, really, beyond using it for a parking meter or scratching off lottery. Turns out, that loose change could be your lottery ticket. Studio microphone. These silver era quarters weigh slightly less than regular ones, have a brighter shine, and give off a distinct ring when dropped. The idea that something so common, so overlooked, could change your life overnight, that's what makes this story so powerful. Because it's not just about the coin. It's about possibility. So how does a simple 1997 quarter become worth $685,000? Let's break it down. These quarters were mistakenly struck on silver planchets intended for proof sets or older coinage. A serious error, yet somehow, a few escaped into circulation. Fewer than 10 verified examples exist. Let that sink in. Out of hundreds of millions minted, just a handful are known. It's like winning the coin lottery, graded MS 67 or higher by PCGS or NGC. These coins demand astronomical prices. One pristine example fetched $685,000 in a private sale. Now here's the kicker, some of these silver era quarters are still out there. Unaccounted for. In wallets, piggy banks, and yes, your kitchen drawer. Every day that passes is another chance someone else finds what could have been yours. That's the fear. That's the urgency. And in just a minute, I'll tell you exactly how to identify if your 1997 P quarter is one of them. But first, now for the moment you've been waiting for. It must have a P mint mark just above the R in quarter dollar. Use a jewelry scale. Silver errors will weigh approximate 6.25 grams, compared to the usual 5.67 grams, drop it gently on a hard surface. Silver quarters have a clear, bell-like ring, not the dull clink of modern ones. A brighter luster, smoother edge, and slightly different color are all subtle hints. Don't clean it. Don't sell it on eBay. Get it professionally graded, PCGS or NGC only. That's where the real money starts. And no, your cousin Jimmy with the magnifying glass doesn't count as a coin expert. It only takes one coin, one moment, one decision, to check. And that could shift the entire course of your financial life. You don't need to win the lottery. You don't need to invest in crypto. You just need to check your change. Because buried in the ordinary is something extraordinary. Now imagine turning a forgotten quarter into a luxury vacation, a college fund, or early retirement. That's not a dream. That's the 1997 P silver quarter. If this inspired you, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video. Check your coins. And subscribe for more rare finds that could change your life. And if you think this coin is exciting, wait until you see the $1.5 million nickel we're covering next week. Hit that bell icon, you won't want to miss it. Imagine stumbling upon a single coin in your junk drawer, a quarter, and realizing it's worth over $685,000. Sounds like a fantasy, right? Well, for some, that fantasy is about to become their reality, because the 1983 P. George Washington silver quarter dollar isn't just rare, it's a secret millionaire maker hiding in plain sight. In this video, we're diving deep into how one tiny piece of metal could change your financial destiny, and if you're sitting on old coins, you need to watch until the end, because you might already own something that could unlock a life of freedom, luxury, and legacy. This 1983 quarter could be worth $685,000. Are you sitting on gold? How to spot it. Why it's so rare. What you must do next, the mystery of the 1983 P quarter. Let's take it back to 1983. Reagan was president, the US economy was recovering, and the mint was making a mistake. That year, most quarters were struck from copper nickel. But a very small number were accidentally minted using silver blanks. That's where the 1983 P silver quarter was born, an accidental masterpiece. Talk about an oops that pays off. I burn toast once, I get yelled at. The US Mint messes up. Bam, $685,000 coin. This specific quarter, with the P Mint mark for Philadelphia, shouldn't exist in silver. But it does, and because it was never intended to, it was never documented. No official records. No announcements, which means, you might have won without even knowing it. Years went by. Coin collectors, numismatists, and casual hobbyists all unknowingly let these valuable coins slip through their fingers. Some spent them. Some lost them. Some tossed them into jars and forgot them for decades. But in recent years, the truth started to emerge. One verified 1983 P quarter struck on a silver planchet sold for a jaw-dropping $685,000 at auction, and here's the kicker, it wasn't flawless. It had minor wear. Which begs the question, if a worn quarter can fetch six figures, what could yours be worth? Now here's where fear comes in. Most people who owned this rare coin, they spent it at a gas station, on a soda, gone forever, without a second thought. Imagine handing over a small fortune to a vending machine. Bet that Snickers bar doesn't taste so good now. The clock is ticking. Every year, these coins vanish. Get damaged. Or worse, melted down. Your chance to find one is narrowing, but if you act now, you could be one of the few to catch this unicorn in the wild. So how do you know if you're holding the real thing? Here are 3 key indicators to look for on your 1983 quarter. The P, a mint mark, located just right of Washington's ponytail. No P? It's not the one. The weight test, silver quarters weigh 6.25 grams. Regular copper nickel ones? 5.67 grams. Grab a digital scale. It's worth the $10 investment. The ring test, drop it gently on a table. Silver rings with a high-pitched chime. Copper nickel? It's more of a dull clink. Don't worry, no need to be a musician, just listen closely. Good. Now, don't rush to eBay just yet. You need a certified coin grading service, like PCGS or NGC. Why? Because authentication boosts value, and protects you from undercutters. You could be sitting on your first 6-figure payday, imagine paying off your mortgage, funding your kids' college, or finally buying that dream car. All from a quarter. Bet your accountant didn't see that coming. Stay hooked for what's next, but here's where it gets even more interesting. The 1983 P is just one of many modern coins worth a fortune, and in our next video, we're revealing a coin from the 2000s that's turning everyday folks into millionaires. Don't let this moment pass. Go check your coin jar. Your glove compartment. Your drawer of forgotten change. The next George Washington quarter you hold might just be your ticket to a life of wealth and freedom. And if you're ready to learn more about coins worth millions, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and drop a comment if you've got a 1983 P in your collection, even if you're not sure. Right now, sitting in a dusty drawer, or buried deep in your coin jar, you could be holding a small silver quarter worth more than a luxury home in Beverly Hills. No, this isn't clickbait. This is real. The 1993 George Washington silver quarter, yes, that unassuming piece of metal, has fetched up to $685,000 on the current market. But here's the kicker, only a few people know why. And even fewer are cashing in. What makes this quarter so insanely valuable? And more importantly, how do you know if you have one? Let me tell you a story. In 1993, the Denver Mint produced millions of Washington quarters. But somewhere along the way, a mistake was made. A rare batch of silver planchets, metal blanks meant for commemorative coins, were accidentally used to mint circulation quarters. And that tiny oversight? It's now turning everyday people into 6-figure success stories. You're digging through your junk drawer looking for a spare battery, and bam! You've just found your retirement plan, humorous, which is a much better outcome than what you normally find in there, dead AA batteries and expired coupons from 2011. But here's where things get wild, because not all 1993 quarters are created equal. To know if yours is the jackpot, you need to check 3 key things. 1. Look for the D mint mark. That means it was minted in Denver. 2. Use a digital scale. If your quarter weighs around 6.25 grams, instead of the usual 5.67, you've got silver content. And 3. Examine the coin's edge. Silver quarters don't have the copper-colored strip. But wait, there's one more detail that could mean the difference between $25 and $685,000. And most people overlook it completely. Here it is, the final, critical piece: condition. A flawless coin graded MS-67 or above by the PCGS can break records at auction. These coins are museum quality, and fetch life-changing money. You're not just holding a quarter. You're holding potential freedom, a way out of debt, a jumpstart to retirement, or even the down payment on your dream home. Or maybe, just maybe, the pool with the waterfall and those Instagrammable floating chairs. Hey, no judgment. But here's the reality. These quarters aren't waiting around forever. Collectors are scooping them up. Prices are rising. And the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to find one in circulation. Right now, there's a window. And it's closing fast. So check your change, look through those old coin rolls, and most importantly, don't assume it's just another quarter. What if your path to wealth isn't in a tech stock or a real estate deal, but right in the palm of your hand? Subscribe now to learn how to identify, grade, and sell coins worth thousands, or even millions. Because you deserve to live a life of freedom, not financial stress. Remember, the quarter you ignore today could be the fortune you regret tomorrow. Want more hidden coin treasures? Watch this next video on the top 5 rare quarters worth over $100,000. What if I told you that a tiny coin sitting in your kitchen drawer could be worth over $685,000 today, a 1968 George Washington silver quarter? No mint mark, most people toss it into a vending machine. But you? You're about to discover the truth that few coin collectors even know exists. In 1968, the world was in chaos: Vietnam War, civil rights movements, protests in the streets. But quietly, in the background, the US Mint made a critical decision that would change history. They stopped minting 90% silver quarters for circulation. But a few rare exceptions slipped through the cracks. One of those exceptions: the 1968 no-mint mark George Washington quarter, not from Denver, not from San Francisco, but mysteriously, no mark at all. And no, it's not shy or playing hide-and-seek. That missing mint mark is a signal, one that could be worth nearly $750,000. Let's talk about why. Seamless transition, but before we dive into the money, let's understand why this coin is so rare, the discovery and value buildup. From spare change to a fortune. Here's the truth: 1,968 quarters were supposed to be clad nickel and copper, not silver. And any coin without a mint mark was supposed to be minted in Philadelphia. But here's the twist: a few 1968 quarters were mistakenly struck on leftover 90% silver planchets. These weren't just errors. They were financial miracles in disguise. In 2023, one such quarter sold for $685,750 in a high-end auction. That's right. One quarter. One sale. Life-changing money. And here's the scary part: thousands of people have probably spent one without ever knowing. Could that be you? Have you ever looked at the dates on your spare change, or were you just hunting for gum money? Be honest. Now you're wondering, how do I know if I have this silver beauty? Let me guide you. Grab a magnifying glass. Look at your 1968 quarters. If there's no mint mark, you're in the game. Check the coin's edge. If it's pure silver with no copper lines, that's your second green flag. Weigh it. A silver planchet coin weighs around 6.25 grams, a clad one is only 5.67 grams. But here's what most people miss: there's one subtle detail that can make the difference between $25 and $685,000. I'll reveal it in just a moment. I thought it was just another quarter, until I checked. And now? I just paid off my house. Real words from a lucky collector. Here's your moment. With inflation rising, retirement plans shaky, and digital currency on the rise, tangible assets like rare coins have never been more valuable, and people are buying. The coin collector market is booming. Millionaires are being made in auctions every month. The surface luster of a genuine silver quarter shines differently. It's more radiant, smoother under light, and a good coin dealer or grading service can confirm authenticity within minutes. Think of it like spotting a diamond in a bowl of cereal. Doesn't belong there, but when you find it, jackpot. So check your change. Dig into your drawers. Call your parents. Visit grandma, because that little coin sitting under the couch cushion could be your one-way ticket to a wealthy life. Imagine paying off debt, traveling the world, retiring early, all because you paid attention to what others ignored. You don't need a business plan. You just need the right quarter. Subscribe now for more rare coin finds that could change your life. Drop a comment if you found a 1968 quarter, or any other rare coins. And tap the bell icon. Because the next video might show you a penny worth over $1 million. What if I told you that a tiny coin sitting in your kitchen drawer could be worth over $685,000? And no, This isn't a scam, a late-night infomercial, or a get-rich-quick scheme. It's real. It's American history in your hands, and it's the 1998 P Mint Mark George Washington silver $quarter coin. Today, I'm going to show you how this humble quarter has shocked collectors, stunned investors, and skyrocketed in value, and how you might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. Hourglass not done, but be warned, every day you wait is a day you might lose out to someone else. The setup, the quarter that could change your life. Let's rewind to 1998. Bill Clinton was president, the internet was still a novelty, and gas was $1.06 a gallon. But behind the scenes, something extraordinary was being minted, quite literally. In Philadelphia, the 1998 George Washington silver $quarter coin, with the P Mint mark, looked like just another 25-cent piece, but not all of them were created equal. And before you go digging through your car's cup holder thinking, I'm rich, hold on. Not every 1998 quarter is a gold mine. But some are. During the minting process, a limited number of silver planchets, that's the blank metal discs used to make coins, were accidentally used to strike what should have been copper-nickel quarters. A freak, ultra-rare, silver composition quarter, hiding in plain sight. One just sold $4,685,000. The confrontation, how to know if you have one, 3 to 7 o'clock. Now, you're probably asking, okay, but how do I know if my quarter is one of those? Let me break it down. The mint mark, look just to the right of George Washington's ponytail. If there's a tiny P for the Philadelphia Mint, you're still in the race. The color and edge, silver quarters have a solid gray-white edge. If you see copper layers on the side, sorry, that's a no-go. But a pure silver edge? Jackpot. The weight test, silver quarters weigh 6.25 grams, unlike the typical 5.67 G-clad version. Grab a digital scale, you'd be amazed what $10 at Walmart can detect. The sound test, yes, it sounds weird, but if you gently drop a silver quarter on a table, it rings like a bell. A beautiful, high-pitched chime, and if it just clunks like an old sock full of pennies, well, better luck next drawer. These little details could mean the difference between a 25-cent coin and a $685,000 windfall. Now imagine this: you walk into a coin show, hand over a plastic bag of old change, and walk out with enough cash to pay off your mortgage, buy a Tesla, or even retire early. But here's the catch. These rare silver quarters are getting snatched up fast. Every auction, every estate sale, every coin collector with a microscope and a mission is looking for them. So if you're still holding on to old coins, you need to act now. What to do next, and the millionaire lifestyle ahead. 7 to 10 o'clock. First, get it professionally appraised. Don't list it on eBay for $25 and lose out on $500,000. Second, use certified dealers or auction houses, names like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers. They have the buyers, the marketing power, and the reach to fetch you top dollar. And here's where it gets real: coins like this aren't just collectibles. They're investments. While the stock market zigzags and inflation eats your savings, rare coins have been steadily climbing in value. What's safer, a stock portfolio managed by a stranger, or a coin made of silver, sealed in a case, sitting in your safe? You've worked too hard for too long to let a life-changing opportunity pass by. That one coin, that one drawer, that one forgotten change jar could be the beginning of your financial freedom. But time is not on your side. Collectors know the value. Investors are circling. And those with an eye for rare coins? They're already cashing out. So here's the cliffhanger. In my next video, I'm breaking down 5 more modern US quarters that are quietly selling for $10,000 to $250,000, and most people overlook them every single day. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, and check your change. You might already be sitting on your first million. Like this video if you learned something new. Drop a comment if you think you've got a 1998 P silver quarter. I might even review it in the next episode. And don't forget, your journey to wealth could start with one coin. Be smart. Be curious. Be wealthy. What if I told you that a single quarter you tossed in a jar years ago could now be worth more than a brand new Lamborghini? Yes, just 25 cents. now selling for up to $685,000 in today's coin market. Pause, gentle suspense music builds. You may have held it, spent it, forgotten it. But the 1967 no-mint mark George Washington quarter is turning ordinary people into millionaires, almost overnight. And no, this isn't one of those "you should have bought Bitcoin in 2009" videos. This is a story about American coins and second chances. Let's rewind the clock. It's 1967. Gasoline is 33 cents a gallon. The Beatles rule the charts. And in the hustle of post-war America, the U.S. Mint produces millions of quarter-dollar coins, but with a twist. This year, no coin bears a mint mark. Why? Because during a national coin shortage, the U.S. Mint decided to remove mint marks altogether, thinking it would ease collectors' demand. But here's the twist most never saw coming. Cue suspenseful beat. Among these millions of coins, a very limited number were mistakenly struck using silver planchets, intended for earlier years. That's right, silver coins in a non-silver era. Imagine biting into what you think is a chocolate chip cookie, and it turns out to be a gold bar. Same idea. Silver where it wasn't supposed to be. The 1967 no-mint mark silver quarter is now one of the rarest and most valuable error coins in American history. And here's where it gets even better: it may be sitting in your drawer right now. So, how do you know if your quarter is the one? Let's break it down. 1967 it struck on a 90% silver planchet. Instead of the usual copper-nickel clad, real silver quarter weighs 6.25 grams. Use a jeweler's scale. Look for a clean edge with no visible copper line. Drop it gently on a hard surface. Silver rings with a high-pitched ping, not a dull clunk. Pro tip: don't go smacking your coins on grandma's antique table. Use a coaster. Or you'll be rich, but disowned. Collectors and grading agencies are desperately looking for these rare specimens. And when found in mint condition, they're fetching upwards of $685,000 at auction. Cue emotional shift, subtle dramatic music. Imagine waking up tomorrow, knowing one coin could erase your debt, pay for your kids' college, or even buy your dream home. That's not fantasy, it's happening right now. But here's the twist most people never consider: these coins are only increasing in value, but only if you act before they vanish into private collections forever. That means now, not someday. Coming up, I'll show you exactly how to sell your rare coins safely and for top dollar, and the one deadly mistake that could cost you hundreds of thousands. Pull out your stash: junk drawers, old jars, boxes from the attic. Weigh any 1967 quarters. If it tips at 6.25 grams, don't spend it, secure it immediately. Get it graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate and value it for auction or private sale. Reach out to certified dealers or auction houses. Avoid pawn shops or online scams. Remember, if someone offers you a cheeseburger for a coin worth $600,000, say no. Unless it's a really good cheeseburger. Right now, you hold more power than you realize. That quarter isn't just a coin, it's a ticket to freedom. To a life with fewer bills, more freedom, and the wealth you once thought was out of reach. Maybe it's not just about money. Maybe it's about proving that yes, you were smart to keep those coins all these years. That you didn't need luck, you just needed knowledge. If this video sparked something in you, don't let that feeling fade. Hit the like button, subscribe for more insider coin tips, and drop a comment if you found a 1967 quarter. We may just feature your story next. Because one coin, one moment, can rewrite your future. What if I told you that a single coin, just one old quarter hiding in your junk drawer, could be worth over $685,000 today? No, this isn't a fairy tale or a lottery scam. This is the real story of a 1965 George Washington quarter, without a mint mark, that shocked the collector's world, and could very well change your life. You might be holding one of these in your hand right now, and not even know it. The real question is, will you find it before someone else does? Picture this: it's 1965. The Beatles are topping the charts, the Vietnam War is escalating, and the US Mint is making a radical change. Quietly, that year, due to rising silver prices, the government stopped producing quarters made from 90% silver. Starting mid-1965, quarters were made with a copper-nickel clad. Cheaper. Easier. Problem solved, right? But here's the twist. Some silver quarters still slipped through the cracks, whether by mistake or mystery. A handful of 1965 quarters were struck on silver planchets, blanks left over from 1964. And the kicker? These quarters don't have a mint mark. To the untrained eye, they look like pocket change, but they're not. They're treasure in disguise. Think of it like finding out your grandma's costume jewelry was actually Tiffany & Company. Or that the painting your uncle used to cover a hole in the wall was a Picasso. This isn't just about coins, it's about recognizing hidden wealth. In recent years, collectors and treasure hunters have unearthed a few of these elusive quarters. And in 2023, one sold for an eye-watering $685,000 at a private auction. That's not a typo. $685,000. For one coin. One quarter, because of rarity. Only a tiny number exist. The mint didn't intend to make silver quarters in 1965. That makes each one a historical anomaly, a minting accident that turned into a goldmine. But here's the urgency: with each passing year, fewer of these coins remain in circulation. Many are lost. Melted. Forgotten. Every time someone tosses one in a vending machine, a small fortune disappears. So, how do you know if you have one of these rare quarters? What's the secret test? Here's what you need to do: weigh the coin. A 1965 copper-nickel quarter weighs 5.67 grams. But the rare silver version? It weighs around 6.25 grams. That small difference could be a $600,000 payoff. Check the color, look at the edge. Clad coins show a copper strip. Silver quarters? Solid silver edge. Get it appraised. If you even think your coin could be silver, take it to a reputable coin dealer. Better yet, send it to a professional grading service. And no, your neighbor Jim with a magnifying glass and a beer belly doesn't count as an expert opinion. Trust me, if you've got the real deal, dealers will be fighting over it harder than kids at a birthday party piñata. Call 2 Action and Final Hook 946 10:00. So now you know. The question is, will you act? That loose change in your jar could be your ticket to a new house, a luxury car, a life you thought was out of reach. Don't let a $685,000 quarter go unnoticed. Start searching. Start checking. Start believing. Subscribe for more hidden coin values, and unlock the wealth in your own home. And next week, we uncover the 1970 quarter that sold for more than a Lamborghini. You don't want to miss it.